There comes a moment in everyone's hockey career where they come across a moment where they think they're going to have to hang up the skates. This is not that video, I promise. I'm nowhere near hanging up the skates, but there was a time in my life where I thought that was me. I skated off the ice at age 13, age 14 maybe, knowing that it may be the last time that I put on somebody's jersey that I play for. And for the longest time, I was under the impression that that was it, that I wouldn't be playing for a team again, and that I would just kind of be off on my own for a little bit. Best I'd ever get is beer league. And amazingly, that little kid in me, that fear of not being able to play for a team again, was wrong. And this is the big announcement that I've been hinting at for the last couple of weeks. There's been a couple of Easter eggs. I may have even outed myself in a couple of shorts, but I have a team now. And I'm going to be revealing that here in 3, 2, 1. Yeah. This is much better. I am a member of the Fighting Eel Pouts, which is going to be really fun. It's an interesting name with an interesting story and a really interesting tie. Now, I'm going to be completely upfront and say that this team is kind of my own creation, but only in a roundabout way, so sit down because it's a little bit of a long story. So it's not a very well-kept secret on this channel that what I do in the real world, outside of YouTube and outside of hockey and reacting to Golden Knights games and occasionally playing golf, I am a law student. I go to law school up here in Minnesota, and with that, there's this kind of cultural thing where everybody's got a hockey team. There are 3 law schools in Minnesota, 2 of which have hockey teams, and, that's kind of a traditional thing. But there was one that didn't, and it was the school that I was attending. And so I'm sitting in class, I believe it's February of this year, and I decide, because I don't want to pay attention to property laws anymore, that I'm going to fill out some paperwork and try and get the team going again. Fast forward about 6 months and a lot of paperwork and a really frustrating budget fight, and here we are. And I now have a team of my own creation at my school. I get to play for a team for an institution that I'm a part of for the first time basically ever. I never got to play hockey in high school, and I definitely never got to play in college. So this is the first time that I'll be playing for a team that I have a close tie to, as in it's a building that I go to 5 days a week, every week, and have since the summer, or since August of 2023. So this is kind of the beginning of what I would call my arc of playing for my own school. What's been really cool about this is I got to design the logo, which is really fun. It's been very well received all around campus. But I also get to do a couple of extra stuff because, it's me. And a lot of it comes down to accessories. Now, the crummy thing about this being a school team, and I say crummy loosely because, this kind of started off as a goalie channel, and it's going to have to evolve a little bit because it's a team and I'm not the only goalie. And so I'm going to be splitting time in net with the guy who is going to be part of the tandem with me. And he's a good goalie, good guy. We've had 2 weeks of practice. I've been in net for one of them, and I got the absolute pants scared off of me because some of my new teammates can absolutely rip the puck. But what's interesting about it is I get the opportunity to skate out now. I haven't skated out and played forward in a game setting in about 4 years longer than I stopped playing goalie. So it's been over half my life since I skated out as a forward. I had a lot of talent in my hands back when I was 10 and playing inline hockey. Now, fast forward 13, 14 years, and that's a different conversation, but we're going to find that out together. One of the perks of being president of the team and being the one who set it all up is you get a few of the things before everybody else, and that's given me the opportunity to make a couple of executive decisions, especially when it comes to my gear. So let's start with my favorite piece of equipment, my goalie mask. Now, my goalie mask, I definitely outed on a couple of short videos the last couple of days. It just came in very recently. I got a custom cages design. It's vinyl. I wish it was painted, but I'm still a broke college kid. And so, but all it is it turned out incredibly well. The logo obviously looks great. I am a huge fan of the fish mail, like fish scales that are going up along the black stripe down the center. That was an original part of my design that wasn't originally there. It was originally supposed to be just a flat black stripe. But then I decided I needed a little bit of texture, and that was probably the best possible decision I could have made in this context. So I'm very thrilled with that. Obviously, I got to pick my number, and as you can see, I'm number 50 when I'm in goal. More on what that statement means in a moment. All in all, I'm super excited. The only kind of unfortunate thing about it is this team got all decided, the color scheme and all that got decided after I bought my equipment. So part of me wanted to buy all blacked out equipment, and ultimately I wasn't able to. And I still love my gear, but it's going to look a little off because I'm going to be wearing a jersey that is black, white, and red, and a helmet that's white, red, and black, and everything else about me is white and blue. But what can you do? Money is important, and this gear is amazing for what it is, and I'm absolutely not going to complain because the helmet's good enough anyway. It gets me most of the way there, and it's going to look really good on a shelf one day in my office, which is something that I'm very excited for. The other interesting part about this is I also get to skate out again, and I've done a little bit of work to my skater helmet. Not as much, because rules are rules, and I kept it nice and traditional, went with the NHL style logos and numbers. One thing that is a little different about it is I'm rocking a different number. Now, I've always been number 50. I wore number 50 my entire junior hockey time. I was number 50 when I was a forward for the 1 year that I was a forward on ice hockey, and then I wore that same number for my 3 years in goal. And obviously I wanted to keep that, but I'm not the only person in my family who played hockey. My little brother, who I have always been a fan of, I've always loved watching him play, he played at a lot higher level than I did, and he played for a little longer than I did, but ultimately quitting it around the same time he just started earlier. He was always number 3. And so it kind of felt right to have that be my forward number because I'm getting to do something that he got to do and that I haven't really had the experience to do. So maybe I will just pick up some of his talent by osmosis, by wearing his number, and it'll also be cool just to have that as a reminder of something that we both did as kids in very different ways. And now that we're both getting a little older, it'll be fun, especially if he comes up to watch me play, which there will be more on that on this channel in particular, as well as the official team channel and team socials, which I will plug when they're ready. And no, I'm not trying to plug my team because I don't get anything out of this. This is a school function. This is I don't even want to use the word nonprofit because that's what it is. This is all for school stuff. And so I get nothing out of this. I just want to talk about something that I'm super proud of and the team that I get to represent for at least the next year, hopefully the next 2 years. But all in all, it's going to be super exciting, and I'm just really excited to make the announcement that I have a team now. And I'm curious what you guys have to say about the logo. The name has its own really interesting story. Now, the school that I go to used to have a team by the same name. Got founded either the late 90s or the early 2000s, and it was an absolute powerhouse in Minnesota law school hockey, which is a thing, by the way. There's this big tournament in the springtime. It's called the Golden Gavel. All the law schools get together. They play for it. It's a big pride thing. But there used to be a lot more of it when there used to be 4 law schools in Minnesota. Now there's only 3 because of a merger. The story goes, it was either the late 90s or the early 2000s. I can't exactly remember. Jesse Ventura is the governor of Minnesota. Governor's mansion is right down the street from the school. And I don't know how, I don't know why, but the team went to Governor Ventura and asked him what they should be called. And this is what he came up with. He came up with the Fighting Eel Pout. And as much as I wanted to change the name, we've got an entire battery of alumni who were associated with that team. And I don't want to make anybody mad. So we updated the logo, but I preserved the name, preserved the legacy, which is, it's the least I could do, especially because I'm going to be asking them to show up in a couple of months to have a good time with us. And who knows, maybe one of them will be my boss one day. But the fact of the matter is I have a team. It's super exciting. And if you want, you can pick up one of these shirts or 10 other items bearing this logo for the next week and a half. We are currently doing a fundraiser to try and get some ice time and get some equipment for our players who can't afford equipment and buy some really nice jerseys. And you can buy these t-shirts. They're available right now. They're available until October 11th. And all in all, I'm really excited to take you guys on this adventure with me. Got a great group of people around me helping me make this right. We have some really big and really exciting projects in the works, and may or may not be some behind the scenes stuff at some very famous hockey venues, including but not limited to the place where they shot the Mighty Ducks, Mariucci Arena at the campus of the U of M, and of course, Xcel Energy Center. I've got some irons in the fire that I'm super excited to see if they pan out. And the pièce de résistance, if I will, if I can get my ducks in a row for this team, maybe, just maybe, there'll be a Winter Classic in the springtime, which, take you guys along for the ride, because why the hell not, right? So that being said, thank you for listening to me ramble about my new team. I know this was the least surprising major announcement ever, but I'm excited, so I was just wanting to sit down and see if you guys would be excited as well. So with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.